£. Shadows of smoke are like smoke. In the dance between light and darkness, smoke casts shadows of itself, a doubling of illusion, a mirror of the ephemeral. Is this not the perfect metaphor for perception itself? We move through life thinking we grasp reality directly, when in truth we're often watching shadows of shadows, reflections of reflections, interpretations of interpretations. Consider how a forest appears different to every creature that calls it home. To the earthworm, it is a universe of vibrations and chemical signatures. To the bat, it is a cathedral of echoes. To the deer, it is a tapestry of scents and subtle movements. And to us? We see what our human eyes have evolved to see, hear what our human ears have evolved to hear, yet we fool ourselves into thinking this narrow band of perception encompasses all of reality. The smoke rising from an incense stick curls and writs in patterns that seem meaningful, like ancient script written in the air. We seek meaning in these patterns, because that is what minds do. We are meaning-making machines. But is the meaning in the smoke, or in the mind? Both, perhaps, and neither. Like the smoke itself, meaning is both there and not there, solid enough to change the course of lives, yet insubstantial enough to pass through our fingers. Our emotional landscape colors everything we perceive, like stained glass tinting the light that passes through it. When we are in love, the world glows with possibility. When we are grieving, even sunshine feels gray. Which version is real? All of them. None of them. The question itself may be as substantial as a shadow of smoke. The spiritual seekers of old understood this paradox. They spoke of Maya, the veil of illusion, not as something false but as something true yet incomplete. Like a shadow that tells us something real about the object casting it, while still being just the two-dimensional projection of a three-dimensional truth. Our perceptions are like this, true as far as they go, but never going far enough. Physical reality itself, viewed through the lens of quantum mechanics, begins to seem as mysterious as any mystical teaching. Particles that exist in multiple states until observed, spook action at a distance, waves of probability collapsing into particles of matter. Are these descriptions of objective reality, or shadows of smoke trying to describe the fire? The world we perceive is like a vast ocean, and our consciousness is like a cup dipped into that ocean. The water in the cup is real enough, but it would be foolish to think it contains the whole ocean. Yet this is what we do, again and again, mistaking our cup of perception for the ocean of reality. Even these words, these attempts to capture something of the mystery of perception, are shadows of smoke trying to describe smoke. They spiral up from the page like incense, forming patterns that seem meaningful, then dissipating into the vast unknown from which they came. And perhaps that's as it should be. Perhaps the greatest wisdom lies not in grasping at smoke or trying to pin down shadows, but in learning to dance with them, to move with the mystery rather than trying to master it. For if shadows of smoke are like smoke itself, ephemeral, ever-changing, impossible to grasp, then perhaps our task is not to capture them but to witness their dance, to appreciate the play of light and shadow, form and formlessness, knowing and unknowing. In this witnessing, we might find a deeper truth than any our perceptions could capture, the truth of being present to the mystery itself. And in the end, isn't that the most wonderful paradox of all? That in acknowledging the limitations of our perception, we open ourselves to perceiving more deeply. That in recognizing the shadow-like nature of our understanding, we begin to understand more truly. That in seeing how smoke-like our grasp of reality is, we might finally learn to move through the world with the grace of smoke itself, fluid, responsive, at peace with our own beautiful impermanence.